Today we're going to empty out one side of the grow tent. It's a hydroponic side where we have kale growing, and the kale is now about 1 meter tall and it's finished. I mean, we've been harvesting all winter starting in around October. So now is the time that we need to change out the crop in this grow tent. So if you'll come with me, we will move the operation around and we'll get started. We're getting enough sun now here during the day that we can put the plants out here. And then what I'm going to do is move plants in this grow tent here that I've started inside hydroponics, and they're smaller plants, and we'll grow those out here most of the spring. We're also going to plant some potatoes today, and it's a big day here. So I hope you enjoy the video, and please like and subscribe, and join us on Facebook as well. So the first thing I have to do is I have to take all the hoses. This is a reservoir down here, and this is a reservoir down here, holds about 120 liters. And then I'm going to take all the hoses up and remove all these plants. So these are our little drip hoses, and these are all activated by a timer. And the plants I want to keep inside, I'll just set off to the side. But all these kale plants will come out because I have to remove everything out of here. You've got some bigger ones back there in the behind there. So what I'm going to do is actually pull this whole table out. I'll empty all the nutrient solution out of it, and then I'll pull it all out and clean in here, and get it ready for the next crop going in here. I have to do this about 2 or 3 times a year for my as you can see here, here's one of the bigger ones, so kind of a height-wise, and they're about that big around. So this one I will probably keep for a little while longer. You know, when they start to get old and not doing so well, the insides of the leaf, they'll start to turn colors. They're having a hard time, all the nutrients going up the plant. It's just getting too old, and you have to start all over again. And another thing is they'll start to grow out around the bottom here, and when that happens, you know that it's probably a little too old. That's also a nice purple one. Yeah, probably keep that one. It's good and strong. What I'm doing here is I'm going to pull the top off, and I've got a couple clamps here that I have to undo, and I'm going to hook another hose up, and I'll pump out all the nutrient solution that's for the hydroponics. This is all quite easy. And then as you see, this just comes out, and there is the reservoir. And what I've done is I cut pieces of pipe, or you can use brick or anything, and that's to support the top of the table, because when you fill it with plants, although it has a middle section there, the front and the back will sort of sink in a little bit. So I put I cut these to measure so it supports the whole table, so I don't have a problem with and then this whole thing just comes out. like so. So the next step is to get all the nutrient solution. I have a drain actually right there outside the tent there that goes, and this is old nutrient solution and it needed to be changed anyway, and the bottom needed to be cleaned. So what I do is I have a pump right here. This is to feed the hydroponic system, and I just add a little hose to it, tighten up this clamp as tight as I can get it. So as you can see, the water's coming through this little hose and down into the drain. It's more difficult. I have a permanent connection right here to the pump, so that's why I just use this little hose here. And it'll take a few minutes for it to drain out. And then yeah, I'll pull this whole thing out and also clean it as well. And then get in here and clean everything inside the tent. Normally I use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, concentration of bleach water. Also works very well for the mold, any mold spores or anything that I have in here. Alright, I'm back now, and as you can see, the tank is just about empty. They're not too difficult to work with. They are just big, that's all. So I try to get it out here very carefully. There we go. Some of y'all might be asking, yeah, this seems like an awful lot of work, and it is. Growing your food this way is definitely not easy, but it's very rewarding. You get a lot out of it. I had fresh kale, I got Swiss chard, I've got turnips, potatoes, fennel, beets, all kinds of fresh herbs, all grown in here. And this is all winter long. And, you know, given the situation that some people find themselves in, locked at home and you know, sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix or playing video games, this just seemed like a better option for me. Because I'm going to spray everything down in here. I've got all my ladybugs out that I can find. And I'm just going to, it's a slight bleach. And I just go by and I spray everything. And then up underneath this here, I also have to spray it. Because I can see where mold and stuff like that will start to take hold, because it's just wet and very moist in here. You might be wondering why I'm leaving the light on, just so I can see everything, but I don't miss everything. And I have ventilation going as well. And I spray all the sides, get it all nice and clean, and then I'll get in here and wipe it all down again. Back behind here is a wall, so this is actually this tent goes right up against the wall there, and I just get in here and wipe all that down, clean it the best I can. And I do this a couple times a year. Now I'm outside and turn on the water, and I'm just going to wash it down here. There we go. Then what I'll do is I'll come by with some disinfectant, and I'll spray the disinfectant on there and let it set. Simply spray a little disinfectant in here. Although I've washed it all out pretty well, this is the reservoir, 110 liter. And then the table gets a spraying down too. This just gets rid of all the mold spores, little critters, They don't like this stuff at all. Also, the important thing is to clean the hoses, because the actual bugs like to travel on the hoses, to be honest with you, because there's water normally running on the table, and when the water runs on the table, the bugs will actually crawl up from plant to plant using the hoses. That's what I've experienced anyway. Okay, that's it. Now I'm just going to let it dry and then take it back and put it in the tent. So I wanted to show you here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these kale plants and they're going to go away. I've trimmed all the leaves off of them that I could get. But the top here's got some special rock that I put on there. And what I'm going to do is just dump that out of there into this bin, and I'll mix it with something else and reuse it. And then this helps with keeping also the bugs out. Then afterwards, she's ready to take out of the pot and put in the recycling. So what I'll do here is just pull this whole thing up out of here. And as you can see, it's one giant root mass. Now on the bottom here, I have some more rock, and that's what I'm after. So there's a piece of felt here that separates it, and I just dump that out there, and that goes in there to be reused. That's something we cannot use in the recycling. And the rest of this goes into the recycling. So then I'll take it over this afternoon. We have a green waste recycling, and yeah, the whole thing goes in there. Pull this little piece of plastic off here, and that's it. And all the so once again, I'll take this one, dump the stone off the top, like so. Reuse all that. Of course, I clean it but it saves a lot of money because that stone is quite expensive. It's not regular Blaton stone. It's calc stone. So here's this is also the bottom. That's Blaton there. That's just help with the drainage, so the pot can drain a little easier. And that's it. All right, welcome back, everyone, and to the afternoon edition. Now I've cleaned the flood table, the reservoir, and I'm going to move it all back in here and start putting new plants back in here. And that's going to be the project for the afternoon now. Now I always keep a little gap in between the walls there, just to so I can get down. If you get the table all the way against the edge of the tent, then the plants hit it against, and if there's bugs or anything, it'll climb up. So I like to keep it away from the sides of the tent, especially in the wintertime. You get a lot of condensation and stuff and on there. So right now it's not that big of a deal. I just set them in there for to support the top when I put the plants that are heavy. Okay, so the important thing is to make sure that we get it in there correct. And you notice that I don't have a lot of hoses across the back, simply because I can't reach back there. The way this is set up, I have no access in this back here because there's a wall right there behind. There is a going to do. It's because I know I have to work on this. I'll put it on the right side, toward the front here, because this is something that I will work on fairly soon. So that's going to go in there like that. And then I have a lot of the smaller plants are going to go in the back here. So I'll get busy on that, and then when I'm finished, I'll show you what the outcome is. All right, we're on the final home stretch. I got this last big pot in here. I've got beets in here, parsnips, potatoes, fennel, celery, and carrots. So with all luck, everything will go together and be happy together. And I just make sure that I got all the watering hoses in. There's an empty one. As you can see, there's all the plants installed. We have some potatoes in the front there that I'm going to work with, beets, parsnips in the back. We have some celery back there, some fennel, more beets and carrots. And down here I've put in these are small buckets, that's cabbage, heads of cabbage. And I've made some room up here on my rack for some other plants. And all the way on the top here, I've got some really young stuff starting in there right there that's for my next plant. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. And remember, know what you eat and where it came from. Have a great day, everyone.